Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Krysia. Today's video is going to be exciting because it's another new drop from Natasha Denona, and we have the mini BIBA and we have the mini Rose Cheek Duo. These two products launched very recently, just in the last week. I just got them yesterday. Today is Christmas Day and I'm just quickly filming before we do Christmas dinner. I'm so excited. So I'm kind of getting ready with this palette. I'm going to show you guys some swatches. I'm going to give you guys a quick demo of the products. And we're going to go over my final thoughts. And I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers because I really want you guys to kind of see how I go through the process of playing with the products, swatching them, and what I think as I'm going through that process. Stay tuned if you want to see my full thoughts on these two products. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the packaging first. It's nothing new for Natasha Denona. They just come in the standard packaging. The nice thing is Sephora now puts the palettes or leaves the palettes, because I'm guessing this is how they come from the manufacturer, in the cardboard box. So you get less chance of breakage. I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but I've had Natasha Denona shadows come broken more than once from Sephora. Let's take a look at the blush palette first. This is essentially the same formula as her last Glam face palette in terms of the blush. The highlighter is a little bit different, and you'll see what I mean. This is the palette here. So you get that sort of like cream to powder blush. So the highlighter is supposed to be Super Glow highlighting powder in light medium. And I feel like the formula is slightly more slippy than her Super Glow highlighter that comes in like the big pan. It's just a little bit more creamy, but like in a thin way. It just has that very nice sheerness to it, but it's not a cream by any means. It's just kind of very like slippy and soft. I don't know how else to describe it. Those are the swatches there. The colors are nice. I just wish the pink was a little bit more pink. This is definitely softer than I was expecting, but still very pretty. Still a very beautiful, neutral kind of like rosebud pink. Let's go on to the eyeshadow palette. So this one here is, of course, the mini BIBA. Right off the bat, you guys, I'm a little bit surprised, let's put it that way, about the shades. Let's look at the swatches. From left to right, we have the swatches here, that really dark color in Bruno. Next, we have Izzy. These are all cream mattes. Blaze Nude is a metallic, slightly crumbly when you swatch it, but as soon as you just, apply it to the skin, it just melts into the skin. Very, very metallic. Beautiful, beautiful shade. Next, we have a creamy matte in Plush. And then we have Wink in CP. I'm guessing that's going to be just a cream to powder shadow. It definitely does have that slightly more sheerness to it when you apply it. When I first swatched these for my Instagram page just earlier today, they felt patchy in the swatch. And whatever, I went in there a couple times into each pan and I applied them, and I'm gonna leave my Instagram swatches as is, but they do look a little bit more patchy than these swatches. When I went in just now to swatch for, my camera, like for YouTube, they were way creamier. It's almost like I had to work through almost like a top layer or top finish of some sorts, and now they're swatching very, very pigmented. How'd this happen?
We were watching.
And you pulled it too hard?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Maybe I'll sit down or something.
Princess Peach, baby Princess Peach. I need to do some surgery later. So I do feel that, yes, as soon as I kind of got through that initial almost like top layer, if that even makes sense, because there was no coating on it, they're swatching way better. That's really, really interesting. We'll see how they go into application. But yeah, the second go around for swatches was absolutely amazing. The colors are very similar. Those three shades, like the second, fourth, and fifth, very similar undertones. And I think it's going to be a beautiful monochromatic look. But I do feel that there's so much similarity. Like I almost feel like this pink here could have been a little bit more pink. Like it's definitely peachy in my opinion. It's not really a pink. And it really reminds me of the Glam face palette, the shades there. Again, just that very sort of like warm, definitely not overly pink. They all kind of just seem to be very monochromatic with each other. I don't know. I think I was just expecting something a little bit different, something a little bit more varied. So we'll see. We'll see color-wise. I will do some comparisons later, you guys, to maybe the nude palette or the Glam mini palette as well. So stay tuned for those. First things first, I wanted just to create a decent base on the eyes. So I just used that really creamy shade at the end in Wink and just applied it all over the mobile lid, slightly into the crease, but not too much. I then took Plush, which is the creamy matte pinky shade, and I just went in and blended it out further up into the crease just to create a transition. Then I thought, you know what, let's build up the crease a little bit, and that was a bit of a mistake. I went in with Bruno, the darkest shade, and it went on really, really patchy. I was actually surprised. I didn't think it was going to go on as patchy as it did. I hope the camera does pick it up there. I thought, no worries, I'm gonna go over top of it with that really shimmery shade anyways in Blaze, and it worked well. It kind of hid the patchiness from Bruno. I felt like, you know what, just the way Bruno was going on with the brush, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna use it as a liner shade, and I think it'll work well for that. So I lined my eyes with Bruno and kind of created a little bit of a soft, slightly like upward wing with it, and it worked fine for that. It's really quite smooth as a liner, but yeah, going in there with a small detailed brush to sort of build up the crease wasn't great. So with the lower lash line, I put a little bit of Izzy, which is the one shade I haven't used yet, and that kind of just created a nice soft lower lash line. I used the highlighter from the blush palette for my brow bone because I thought it would be just a little bit softer than Blaze Nude, because that one truly is Blaze. Like, it's insane. It's such a beautiful shade. And then I went in with some mascara. Overall, this is the final look. Okay guys, I'm back. So yeah, that's the eye look there, and I think it still turned out really good. I do feel that Bruno is tricky. It is tricky to use as a crease shade. Like, it really went super patchy, and I don't understand. I mean, it is a hard color, I think, to formulate because it sort of has like brown but sort of a plummy undertone to it. It's a beautiful dark shade, but I'm going to play around with it a little bit more. It still worked really beautiful as a liner, so I'm not super disappointed because I don't do my eye makeup extra dark. I really don't. I'm not too worried about using that as a crazy smoke out shade. I'll use it as a liner, and I'm happy using it as a liner. Just keep that in mind if you are trying to kind of create a smoky look. It went a little bit patchy. It almost like adheres instantly to the skin. You know, it doesn't have that emollients to really just blend out, because even just taking a swatch on my skin, like, it just kind of, you can see those lines there just from my fingers, and it's almost like wherever it initially hits the skin, that's where it's going to stay. Like, it's not going to want to blend too much away from its initial sticking point. Great as a liner though. Let's go in and do a blush, and then I'm going to kind of do an overall bronze at the end and a lip. This little guy here, let's go in. I'm going to use a stipple brush. This one's from Eco Tools. Really pretty. It's very sheer, right? So kind of has that slightly cream to powder quality, lets your skin show through. I'm not in love with this formula, to be perfectly honest with you guys. It's sheer, so that's nice in a way because you can build it up, but I do feel you really need to build it up, and maybe it's just because I'm a blush freak, but that's the blush there. Let's do a bit of a highlight, and the highlighter I'm sure is going to perform beautifully. Just a synthetic brush. This is from Clinique. I have no idea. This brush I don't think is available, but I do feel a formula such as this, where it's sort of like sheeny and thin, would work really well with a synthetic brush. And then let's just see. It's really beautiful. Again, I knew it was going to be pretty because it's so sheeny, just thin. It's not going to have a lot of texture. It just glides so beautifully onto the skin. Okay, I do feel like I need a little bit more blush. It's just you have to build it up. That's that. Let's go in bronze and lipstick. This is Capri Coast from Becca because I grabbed it fast. I know it's not available anymore, you guys, so I apologize, but I just grabbed whatever was fast. And then I'm going to do Dancefloor Princess with Pillowtalk lip liner. And Dancefloor Princess, which is, I think, my pretty much favorite nude lipstick. Because that's the final look there. All right, let's zoom you out and have a chat. Let's talk about this palette. Out of the two pieces, I really prefer the eye palette, even though Bruno here is a tricky little guy. Wow, I have mixed feelings about this. Like, I don't hate the products. I really don't. But am I completely thrilled and impressed and excited? No, I'm not. So I feel like if you have, you know, certain palettes from Natasha Denona, maybe the original BIBA, which I don't, but I know that one is a really, really huge favorite for people. Or what I think, and I pulled out the mini nude, I feel like this one is similar but better. It has 3 shimmers or metallics versus the 1 in this one. And I just feel that having those metallic shades in there, it's just way easier to blend. There's more variety because they're all in very different tones. Even just looking at it, it's very similar. So again, that's the mini nude, which I love. I mean, I've dropped it and it's just kind of like crumbled here and there. So I really want to replace it because I've used it a lot. I've traveled with it a lot in the past. And I feel like this one here, like you're just getting too many similarities. I wish that there was like one more metallic maybe. I wish that these weren't so similar when you actually swatch them. They perform very well. All 4 of these shades perform very well compared to that one. But I think it's too similar, you know? And yeah, it's a little bit more pinky. Granted, yes it is. But it's a little bit too similar. And I feel like the mini nude is actually, in my opinion, better and more versatile and easier to work with. And I just don't think it's different enough, you know? Like, it's good if you don't have the mini nude and you want something a little bit more pinky peachy. Definitely, I have no problem suggesting this one. To me, it's almost like an 8 out of 10 because overall it does perform very well. That metallic shade is just beautiful. It just takes your breath away, actually. And it fixes everything that Bruno, you know, messed up underneath it. But I like smaller palettes lately, so I am going to keep it. I don't feel like it's a must-have. Now, the blush palette, I am not in love with these cream to powder formula she uses for blush. I'm just not. I feel like these ones, you have to really go in and build it up. Maybe if it was a little bit more pigmented or a darker shade, I feel like this formula can get away with being a little bit more pigmented and in your face because it does go on so sheer. Anybody with, you know, a tan to darker skin tone, you're gonna have to really build it up. Like, I mean, I went in there so many times and I still feel that I don't have, you know, maybe enough blush. I know it's enough for most people, but for me, I really do feel like I would want maybe a little bit more, like a little bit more something something. I feel like the highlighter is amazing, but again, you're gonna get amazing highlighters in other potential releases. It's good, it's not great. I'm gonna give this one probably close to like maybe a 7 out of 10 because the highlighter is amazing and the blush isn't bad. But it is what it is. You know, like I mentioned earlier, it just has its certain qualities that you may or may not appreciate in your makeup. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope it kind of gives you a little bit of insight of whether or not to splurge on this palette. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Have you purchased it? Will you be purchasing it? Also, I invite you guys to subscribe before you leave today for more videos. Definitely lots of reviews, makeup and beauty content in general. I am going to be posting my 2021 makeup faves very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. However, before I leave today, I'm going to leave you with another video, and this is going to be the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palette. And maybe you can kind of take a look and compare how this one performs, the overall look that I got with this particular palette in comparison to the mini BIBA. So I'll leave you guys with that video. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, you guys.